Hello, everyone, and welcome back once more to Felix and I chatting about whatever comes up. And today we were going to start with Stargates. And the reason for that is that both of us have recently come back from visiting Stargates. I've been to the 12th Stargate in France, and Felix has been at the second Stargate in Sarasota in Florida. So we both of us have, really had some extraordinary experiences as a result of this. So we thought we'd share with you a little bit about both our experience and what a Stargate is.
Mm. So, do you want to start with what a Stargate is, Saira?
Yeah, I mean, at a very, very basic level, it's a portal, it's a passageway. Uh, they are a Stargate is in some respects another name for a chakra. Within us it would be called a chakra. Within the Earth's light body, as it were, it's a Stargate. But they're also portals through the dimensional levels, linking the different dimensional levels together. They also link different planet. They can link. Let me start again. They can link from the Earth to a planet within our solar system, or they can link from the Earth up to another dimensional level, another dimensional layer of our galaxy or our universe.
Hmm.
And eventually, when you get to the top of the sort of Cathara grid, they link through into the creational fields, and then from there through into the God world. So they're passageways, they're pathways, gateways, uh, method
Perfect.
methods of moving, from one level to another, from one place to another.
Mm.
But the universal stargates, which are the biggies, there are 12 universal stargates on this planet. They're the ones that give multi-dimensional access right up through the dimensional layers so they're the big ones, and they're the ones that have been fought over very long and hard
Hmm.
throughout our history. Now, humanity and the angelic human being, we've talked about the 12 tribes where we were originally seeded as 12 tribes, each tribe holding gate keys for a particular gate within their DNA, which meant that they could move through that gate. It's like a key and lock system. If your DNA has the right keys and codes within it, you can move through the Stargate and utilize the Stargate. If you don't have the right uh, keys and locks, as it were, then don't move through it. And that's kind of like a safety feature. And it's one of the reasons why hybridization with the human race, between aliens and the human race, has taken part, because they want the DNA keys so they can get through the stargates to go and conquer, another layer or another level or another planet or whatever it might be. Easy access, easy access.
Perfect. Yeah. So well put together. That was, yeah, really, really nice. So when we kind of when you landed, or even before that, when was it that you started having the contact with the gate that you were going in on?
Um, I could feel it. I mean, I went to the 12th gate, which is near Montsegur in southwestern France, and I came in. I flew into Toulouse, picked up a car, and made my way out of the madness that is Toulouse. How I ever got out of there, I don't know. But I could feel the energy changing as I drove. It was about an hour and a half drive.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, as I drove towards it, but
Hmm.
I didn't I didn't tune in. I very deliberately didn't tune in until the next morning because I was tired,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I didn't want to muddy the contact. So the next morning, I started a meditation, and the moment it was like bam, it was like it had been waiting for me. It just it was there with me immediately. And the first thing that I realized, I mean, the stargates, and you'll see people have got information out there that gives you exact coordinates of where you find it and things like that. And I think, Felix and I have found those coordinates very dodgy.
Mm.
When we've looked at them, it's kind of like, nah, that's not right.
Hmm.
What I realized first and foremost is that the Stargate is a consciousness. And it was like, why wouldn't it be? Because everything is consciousness. But, we are, we talk about them. I did just there about being gateways, about being portals, about and then there was a whole series on the television, wasn't there, called Stargate,
Stargate
something like that.
SG1 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And it's a big round kind of hole that goes whir, whir, clank, clank, and and then a load of cloud or something comes out the middle and you go through it. Something.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
very, it's a
It's not
thing.
like that.
No, no. I mean, you're being conditioned to think of it as a thing.
As a physical object,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
and
Where it's
stuff.
not, it's a
Yeah.
consciousness, and the
Mm.
consciousness is in the land.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's
Perfect.
an area of land that contains this huge, amazing, I mean, amazing consciousness. And
Mm.
within seconds, it had downloaded so much. To me. It's like a conversation, but it's a conversation that's kind of like boom, all there at once. It's stunning, absolutely
Yeah.
stunning to make that connection. Yeah,
Mm.
amazing experience. But that was me and mine. So
Perfect.
yeah, about yours, Felix.
Okay, so mine began in England, probably about a week or so before I actually was leaving. Um, I was just kind of communicating with the gate, and then I was projected into it. So as I kind of projected into it, I felt myself almost kind of free falling into the gate site, where all of these emerald faces started to come forwards and project around me. And within there, they started to whisper. And gradually, as I fell into it, it became louder and louder and louder. And then there were these key codes that were coming in at the same time and interfacing with my light body. And this was enabling the ability to kind of access, I suppose, access into the gate or activate what was already within my field to come online, so I could get more of an in-depth experience. So then, fast forward to the not the aeroplane, to the drive from Orlando to Miami. Um, I bilocated into the Stargate, um, and what I was kind of pulling from that, which actually turned into a translocational state of consciousness, which is when you kind of become within the space that you're at in real time, that you're projecting into. So your reality around you changes. As that was occurring, what I was seeing was coordinates, equations, and the experience of what it's like to actually step into the gate. So as I was translocating into the gate, the reality around me was changing to different locations, changing to different states. So it's like you walk into it, and then the reality changes to be the next location that is a vibrational match for you to walk to or to go to receive your next set of information. So it's really about the reality around you changing to match where your light needs to go.
Yeah, wow.
So that was the drive down. Then when I actually got there, it was incredible because the vibration was so high. Um, I I got there and I could feel all the energy kind of surging through my body. Everything went into like a heightened state of expansion, and I was met with all of these different beings, different races. The Nohasa tribe of the second Stargate were coming in. And then they issued me into the sea. They told me to go into the sea. So I got into the sea. I was like, okay, I'm going to just have a little swim around, which then turned into like an acro yoga experience by the water. The water was kind of like moving my body into a kind of stretched out state to release the energetic information into the sea, which was simultaneously being taken into the Stargate, which was basically an opening of, I can feel it all moving through me now. It was an opening of the information and a releasing through the morphogenetic gate. So, which I then got out of the sea. I looked up at the sky and there was a giant cloud angel in the sky, which I've actually got photos of. Um, and I laid down in Savasana pose on the beach, and felt like I just melted into the sand. So as that was occurring, my light body projected out in front of me into the gate, in which it then turned in on itself, and almost like turned itself inside out, and then just let go of everything. And then it kind of came back into me, as it does, I suppose. So the experience of it was a huge release of information that was just not needed, and I felt like I'd grown probably like another 2 inches, um, from the compression that I was holding to just letting go of all of it. All my bones felt like they weren't touching each other, or it just felt very, very loose and very expanded. It was wonderful.
Mm.
So when I was there, the physical reality that I was looking at, there were projections of faces coming through the physical reality, then a holographic blending or overlay to the next reality that was also interlaced with the physical reality. So you could see physically to the next level, or to the next layer, um, as to where you're kind of aligning and connecting to, which was, now that I've kind of reviewed it and gone back to it, parts of it were going into the Universal Gate. Parts of it were going into the Graal Gate and into the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
Yeah, because it's worth just saying here that every gate on the Earth, universal gate on the Earth, has what are called Q points or activation points as well. So
Mm,
there are other gates that they link to on the Earth,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and Gate 2 links into Temple Mount and into
yeah,
East Island and Inner Earth.
yeah, absolutely. So it touches base into all of these different gate sites. And that, when I've gone back and reviewed, which didn't happen in real time there and then, but it did happen probably about a week ago, or
Mm.
maybe not even a week ago. I think it was this week because I only came back last Sunday. Um, the information started spreading up the Graal point and then expanding into the higher harmonic universes, which then, um, got to about Stargate 8, and then expanded into Orion, um, which I think is the eighth Stargate of, yeah, that one of the universe. So
Yeah.
that opened, and then a
Mincaria.
big, yeah, and then the White Queen with the golden solar dragon came out of the gate. It was as if she'd been kind of locked within that space and was able to kind of be released and let go of. Whether that was a memory, it felt very, very tangible.
Mm.
So yeah, I feel like it
Yeah.
was kind of both a healing of a memory and also happening in real time as well. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, all of these gates have been messed about with. They've been fought over and things like that. And this was
Mm,
one of the things, the Stargate 12, the one I went to in
hmm,
France, showed me, because the Stargate 12, the activation or Q site is in Kauai,
hmm,
one of the Hawaiian Islands, and it's where the Ioni massacre took place
mm,
24,000 plus years ago.
hmm,
Um, and when there's a lot of stuff that kind of like sits in me unconsciously, and then something makes me ask a question, and the understanding is there, sort of thing, once
mm,
I focus on it. But it was
hmm,
kind of like the 12th Stargate hasn't really, okay, you've got the whole Cathar histories around that area, and it makes sense to me why the Cathars would have settled the land there. and why the
Hmm.
land there would have enabled the Cathars to be who and what they were. There's
Hmm.
also a lot of Mary Magdalene history in that area.
Mm.
The legend is that that's where she went after the crucifixion of Christ,
Hmm.
and she spent the rest of her years there in that particular area, uh,
Hmm.
within those energies, those 12th dimensional energies, preaching and teaching. So sometimes, legends can really help to clue you into stuff. But I knew all of this at one level, but what I hadn't really considered was that where other stargates, like Stargate 4 at Giza, um, the ones in the Middle East, the Temple Mount one, there are two at the top of the Persian Gulf, one in Iran, one in Iraq. They've been massively fought over,
Mm.
massively abused, massively corrupted. I mean, the stories we could tell you, we won't hear because we'll be here forever. But but this really hadn't happened to the 12th Stargate in France, and it told me why. And it was because it had effectively put itself into dormancy because of what was going on the planet at that particular time and what had happened to the activation site at the activation site in Hawaii. And this is such an important gate. It's the 12th gate. It takes you into the founder fields. Oh, that's just something's just dropped in there for me saying that. Um, it rather than allow its consciousness to be captured, to be warped, to be corrupted, to be used and abused by the invading aliens, it effectively put itself into stasis within the land, so it couldn't be captured, and it's in the process now very much of waking up. And that was part of the reason, Felix was saying, his contact with the Stargate really happened beforehand. If I'm honest, mine did too, because I got called to that Stargate. It was kind of
Mm.
like for weeks beforehand, it was like, I've got to go to France, I've got to go to France, I've got to go to
Mhm.
France. And it's like, how do I make this happen? I've got dogs and this and that. And I was supposed to be in Germany at that particular time. And then Germany, got
Didn't
blown out
happen.
warmer, got blown out the water. And all of a sudden there was this space
Mm.
go to France. It's the way things are, sort of together.
Mm.
So, and I took codes to that gate, and that gate gave a huge amount back to me within the time I was there. I was there for 5 days within those energies, and it was, I can't tell you, I just loved it. I want to go back, full stop.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
it has, it has opened, and I was talking to Felix about this just before we hit record. I mean, the whole new layer of information has come through, and
yeah.
it's come through.
Have you linked it?
Yeah, I've linked it. Yeah, it's just opened up all of the history from outside our time matrix to me.
Mm.
So, I mean,
Amazing.
it's given me an amazing gift. I mean, it whatever I had to give to it, and we did some work together. There was some pieces that we did that were part of its reactivation and its reawakening.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, amazing experience.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible experience, isn't it, Felix?
Mm.
It's just kind of like I went one person and I came back another is the way I felt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Lovely. Well, thank you all so much for watching today. It was really nice to share this information with you. And we've got more to come on Stargates and all different things. So if you want to give us a like and subscribe, that'd be great. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank
Lots of
you.
love. Bye.
Bye.